So who cares about fountains? I originally started getting into this project back when I found a photo in my great-grandmother's photo album showing her drinking from a fountain right around 1920s, and decided I wanted to see if I could find that fountain and reproduce the photo. I did find it, and it was moved a couple times, but then I started finding articles about other fountains located in Harrisburg back in the early 20th century. So I decided to see if they were still around. What I discovered was that these fountains led to a lot of history, a lot of interesting events surrounding the fountains. A few seem to just mysteriously disappear, so I decided to research and try to track these things down. Some of these fountains have some interesting stories surrounding them: mystery, nude models, and murder. All right, maybe not murder. Here at 3rd and Maclay Street, in November of 1895, Fannie Eby erected a fountain here in memory of her father, Jacob Eby, who owned a farm and a homestead here. At that time, this was actually the northern end of Harrisburg. The family house was here. Her brother, who was the previous mayor, Maurice Eby, lived at their homestead here on this corner, now a Rite Aid. But in 1948, this fountain was moved to Sunshine Park. When they went to move it, they noticed there was actually an old Pharmacist bottle inside the fountain, kind of a time capsule with a note in it. The bottle belonged to Pharmacist George C, who had a pharmacy and an apartment complex further down 3rd Street. In 1892, George C. opened up a pharmacy over here on this side of the road. It has all been torn down. Those houses have all been built in the 1980s. But a 1948 newspaper article indicates that he eventually moved his pharmacy over to this side, and they say that he actually pioneered the Harrisburg's first apartment building. So I don't know if that's this or an obvious apartment building there behind me, but when his bottle was placed in the Eby Fountain, he would have been at the pharmacy on that side of the road. But the question is, what happened to the bottle? What was written on the note? And is the Eby Fountain still in Sunshine Park? So this past summer, I went to Sunshine Park to look for that fountain. It's not there, so it looks like there's actually a plaque there that says it was remodeled sometime in the last, I think, 20 years. So I guess the question is, when they remodeled it, did they take the fountain down? Where did it go? Where did the bottle go? And the note that was inside. When I was at Sunshine Park, I ended up checking the woods extensively to see if maybe it was hidden up in there somewhere. I couldn't find it. Somebody just went running by me here, so I don't know if they thought I was a cop or something. I don't know. But while researching this, I did find a lot of interesting history about Sunshine Park. There was a wading pool there at one point. One interesting point is there used to be some type of pool down here where the baseball field's at now. It would have been like right in that location right there if you look at the old aerial photographs. So yeah, the pool would have been right in this location right here. And a lot of stories of just, nefarious activities, over the ages, people getting jumped, a guy got shot down there. A lot of stuff went on in that area, and unfortunately still does to this day. Ex-Mayor Maurice Eby dedicated that fountain on Derry Street, but it looks like it's currently being used as a planter or something, but that thing used to be a fountain. So one of the newspapers indicates that the Royal Fountain was at the entrance of Reservoir Park at 18th and Walnut. I don't think I even knew there was an entrance at 18th and Walnut. So I'm trying to find that now, but the one-way roads are strange down here. But the thing is, there are also, here's Walnut Street. There are also newspaper articles showing that that kids were playing in the fountain with the nymphs at the entrance of 18th and Walnut. Oh yeah, here it is. So here it is, the entrance to Reservoir Park at 18th and Walnut. Curious about those pillars there, but I don't know where the fountain would have been. This is where what they call the Royal Fountain in one article, and another article indicated that the dance of Eternal Spring was somewhere around this area. Some said it was hidden in the woods. So I don't know if it was off to the side here or where else it could have been. So Amanda Straw was born in Fishing Creek Valley in 1875. By 1893, she actually moved away at age 18 to Philadelphia to go to college. She ended up getting approached by an artist asking her if she was willing to do nude modeling. So she actually became a nude model at that point. Straw changed her name to Madeline Stokes so that her family would know what she was doing. There's actually a couple different sculptures around, one in Philadelphia that is inspired by her posing nude for that sculpture. In 1908, Milton Hershey commissioned sculptor Giuseppe Donato to make him a statue in a fountain, which he then did. Giuseppe ended up using Straw, aka Madeline Stokes, as his nude model for that statue. That statue ended up being Dance of Eternal Spring. But when Giuseppe went to Milton Hershey to try to show him his work, there's a couple different stories about why it was rejected. But Milton Hershey supposedly rejected it because of the nude forms. He didn't want that on the yard of his estate. The other one was that Donato went way over the price that was originally quoted to Milton Hershey. So there ended up being a lawsuit because Milton Hershey rejected the thing. Giuseppe ended up winning a lawsuit, getting some of the money back, but this thing still sat in a crate at the railroad station for years. In 1920, the statue was then put in place here at Reservoir Park, but according to some of the stories, it was hidden away in the woods. But some of the articles say that it was actually at the entrance of 18th and Walnut to this park. Now this statue behind me is actually a newer statue. It was put in place in 1990, and obviously they weren't concerned about nudity at that point. There is a story that Straw allegedly came up here after the statue of her figure was installed here in 1920. She was with a friend, and her friend asked her, could you imagine ever posing nude for a statue like this? Madeline, wanting to keep her secret quiet to her family, stated that she could not. So in 1938, the Dance of Eternal Spring was moved here to the Municipal Rose Garden. This polyclinic, or previous polyclinic, now a UPMC hospital parking lot, used to be an entire rose garden with a pond here in the middle. And if you look at the old photos, the fountain was right about where that building's at down there. So in 1971, when the Dance of Eternal Spring was moved from the Municipal Rose Garden here to Italian Lake, Amanda Straw, aka Madeline Stokes, was actually on scene to see it happen. She was actually living in a retirement home here. She unfortunately would die a year later, but at least she got to see the statue that she posed for so many years ago put back into place.